Hi, hi. I need to check. I don't see this going live, but that says that I'm live. And I'm always worried about my audio. Be 14 minutes in and suddenly I have audio, right? So the chat is here. Let's click it and see. I'm talking. All right. I'm talking. I think I'm lowering this monitor. All right, there I am. I have a lot of white windows open. So glary. There we go. And there we go. That's so white. It is so white. Okay. Let's say hi to Super Mario by doing a quick fishing trip. Fish. And it'll show up here. He's down here. You can just barely see him. There we go. What did I get? Success. I got a sunfish. And how much gold? I can't see the gold. Oh, 101 gold. I currently have 20,594 gold, and I have no clue what I'm going to do with it. If you can see that, yeah, you can see it. Right down here, I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. But everything's in flux, and I like to give Mario a viewership, so I jump in once in a while with a quick fishing expedition. All right, and we're gonna come over here. We're gonna write this, but we're gonna listen to some stuff because you don't want to hear me breathe. So yeah, I think like the light it like makes two dark shadows right here. I look like a marionette. Maybe if I lean in. No, see, I look like a marionette with this light. Wait, yeah, see, look, it looks like I got. Maybe I need a light underneath here. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh. No, I still look like a marionette. I put a big ring light. I seriously have a big ring light, and I put it in front, and it was like glaring in my eyes. So then I put parchment paper over top of it, and it was still glaring in my eyes. And then I noticed that it like put shadows. The whole desk setup has to be redone, but we're only here to push the button every night. That's what we're here for. And I kind of missed a couple of nights because today's the 19th, and this is my 16th stream. So yeah, I missed a couple. I have to make up for lost time. Do two.
One way to do that.
And this is, can you see? Oh no, you can't see his.
You have the judgment card.
Hold on one second. Let me make this smaller so
Here,
you can. There we go.
What to say about that? you know, I feel
I wasn't
Virgo
really
is
listening.
feeling
Let's go back and listen to him.
definitely seems to be
But look at
continuing
all the deer are
2026,
getting snowed on.
and yeah, I just wouldn't overcomplicate anything. Looks pretty good.
But yeah,
here, Virgo.
everything's
Like I
so
said, the readings
glary.
have
I
been
feel
pretty
so
positive
glary
for
today.
February.
Like
You
I
have
feel
the
like wearing
Ten of Wands,
sunglasses.
World, and the Judgment card in
Maybe
the
I should put a
area
hat
of
on.
your current general energy.
And maybe everything will feel
The
less
Ten of Wands wants to
glary.
make sure you're not
I'll get a hat
overcomplicating
for
anything.
tomorrow.
Several signs, like I said, have had this
And I can look
card
like my logo.
for February. So February seems to be a month where we should be simplifying things. You know, like I said, he's doing. Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading.
That's Chris Recht
for the week
Minnow
for
Pond
February
Tarot.
2026. You have a card that says empowerment. It says, are you ready to fully step into your power and accept all the responsibility that comes with it? And you have this financial freedom. It says, when you are financially free, your lack of money no longer defines the limitations of your life. So that looks good. Definitely could be improving your finances. I've done about 4 readings so far, and they have been very good financially. So, you know, clearly there could be some opportunity to, improve your finances. Ten of Wands could represent like simplifying the work you do, with the Eight of Pentacles for sure. You know, Ten of Wands is like the hard way. Eight of Pentacles is the straightforward, diligent way to make things happen. It kind of just says keep it simple. And if you remember back to 2025, at the beginning of 2025, I said to everyone that the key word for 2025 was going to be keep it simple, or the key phrase, right? And so that energy definitely seems to be continuing in 2026. And yeah,
My mic is in the way
anything.
of the screen.
Looks pretty good here, Virgo. Like I said, the readings have been pretty positive for February. You have the Ten of Wands, the World, and the Judgment card in the area of your
41 minutes ago. We'll listen to him. Hold on, Chris.
To make sure you're not over.
Hold on, Chris. We'll come back to you. This guy always has something pretty interesting to say. Lionel
Can you
Nation.
believe how Erica Kirk and TPUSA, in 131 days roughly since Charlie was dispatched, killed, removed, in 131 days, can you believe how they have screwed up everything?
Everything.
I mean, let me rephrase this.
Everything.
If we went back in time, okay, at the time that this happened, and I said, okay, I want you, this is a weird thought experiment, but I want you to go back in time, and I want you to control what happens with Erica or TPUSA or the reactions. I want you to screw it up as much as you possibly can. I want you to take Charlie's legacy and destroy it. The advances, the
I know where he's
successes of
going, and that's
TPUSA,
why I'm
destroy it.
laughing. It's a
The
sad laugh.
reputations, the names, destroy it. The fundraisers, destroy it. The donors, destroy it. Take her image, destroy it, and turn her into from this kind of an interesting, loving mother to this
You know what? There is something in my drink, and I'm not going to pretend that it's not there. So I will be right back. I have no idea what that is, but I'm not going to pretend. I will be right back.
I'm sorry, Stitchy.
sleeping in the hay? You're not allowed to sleep in the hay. You're not allowed to sleep in the hay. Are they sleeping in the hay? Alright. I'm gonna make some tea. So I'm gonna take the Be Right Back off. I won't listen to Lionel.
Stock, maybe a spook, maybe, who knows? This step for what? I expect her just to pull the mask down and there's these gears or something. What is this? You could not have gone back in time and screwed up more than what they've done every single day. She should have just gone away. Forget it. But since we're doing this and the dancing and all that, now everybody's coming up and now they're threatening YouTubers. Look. What happened with TPUSA and Erica Cook was not just one mistake. It wasn't just one thing. It was a chain reaction. It was a like an implosion. It was this cosmic, this slum.
What type of tea do we want today?
One decision caused another problem, then another, and then another, and then another. It was like boneheaded move caused boneheaded move, and all unforced errors. And the sad part is that it didn't have to happen. It could have been avoided. The first big mistake was treating the internet like a courtroom. Listen to me. It's Uncle Lenny talking here. Online, you don't win by sending lawyers after people. Not with this crew. You win by explaining your side clearly and calmly. And the moment legal threats appear, that's it. The story changes. It's over. It stops being about facts and starts becoming about power. And you start looking guilty of something. Again, you cause attention. People begin asking, who's trying to silence whom? That turned to... They turned the creator. They keep saying a small creator. Wolves are finding this is not a small creator by any stretch of the imagination. But now he's a hero. He's a hero. He's
lemon, ginger,
goes apart.
turmeric.
He's Alan Brockovich. He's whatever it is. I mean, he is it. They created this, and other creators are jumping in. And in our little ecosystem, I hate that word. We jump in. What you do to one of us, what you do to the least of my brethren, you do to us all. There was a guy named JC who said something like that. And now they're coming out of the woodwork. Everybody's talking about it because they can't believe it. And you can tell by his reaction, he's almost apologetic, almost scared. You can hear it in his voice. Well, let me tell you something. You've got the entire world now knowing who you are. And don't be surprised if somebody says, okay. Somebody may donate some pretty serious legal services because whenever you have litigation, guess what you have? This thing called discovery. And that means that if there is an issue, if there is an issue that is placed in issue, a fact, allegations regarding financial shenanigans or whatever, guess what you're entitled to with depositions and the like? All of the records. So you just... So, whatever, I hope you're happy with this. If it goes that far, my advice, stop it. Leave this man, leave this site alone. Go home. Use the fact that America has the attention span of a gnat to your favor. Social media pushed the drama. What could have stayed small suddenly became a huge public fight. That's all people are talking about. And the second mistake was not understanding who they were dealing with. Wolves in Finance, this YouTube creator, is not like a newspaper reporter. He doesn't follow the same rules. He's more like a loudspeaker. And when you attack him, you don't make him quieter, you make him louder and more powerful. TPUSA walked right into that trap. They didn't have to. They did it. At least ostensibly. Back off! And then came something called the Streisand effect. You know that. This is when someone tries to hide or stop information and accidentally makes more people see it. It's named after, Bab Streisand. Remember when she tried to remove a photo of her house from the internet? Well, before the lawsuit, almost nobody saw the photo, knew about it. But after the lawsuit, millions did, including where she lives, what she has, and the whole bit. So the same thing happened here. Before legal action, only a few people were talking about it. After it, curiosity exploded. People started asking why leaders wanted something taken down, and even weak rumors felt stronger because the response looked defensive. Now add emotions to the situation, and it blows up. This was happening after a political killing. That made people more sensitive, more suspicious, and more reactive. When official messages were slow or confusing, people kind of filled in the blanks themselves. Screenshots spread, timelines were argued about. Every small detail became a big deal. Another mistake was
He's
turning
good, right?
leadership
Lionel
change into a
Nation.
show instead of a calm, secretive process.
You should follow him. He's really
When
smart.
a movement loses its main leader, the new leader needs to look steady, humble, qualified, and not trying to craft the limelight with glamé dresses and, the usual story. And this lacrimating, larpish, overdone Tammy Faye Baker routine, I'm sorry, we're past that. When things feel rushed or dramatic, people get nervous. It starts to look like branding instead of responsibility. And they also mix personal grief with business decisions. See, that's understandable emotionally. But publicly, it causes big problems. See, people begin to think decisions are being made for emotional or selfish reasons. The safer approach is boring professionalism. That didn't happen. Once donors started worrying and asking for refunds, the situation got much worse. And now the story was not just about rumors, it's become about trust. And every single day, Candace says, I've got more screenshots. And there are other people who are going to be coming forward on the QT, maybe their own whistleblowers, who are going to deluge stuff. TPUSA, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Are you following
This
this?
wasn't necessary. And when people lose trust, everything becomes harder to control. Another mistake was using technical language instead of being fully open. Saying things like, well, we filed paperwork on that. Or we had not audits, but efforts, or whatever the particular phrase was.
Why is it so
It
big?
might be true, I'm sure it is. But it doesn't make people feel claimed. Look, let me explain something. I've never claimed there was any kind of fraud because I don't know anything about it. I haven't been
Here, I'll turn
studying
it on.
I'm reacting to what's
We're
in
done.
the news.
It's done.
It's not my thing.
It's done. It's
I've
done.
never done an independent deep dive audit of TPU.
done.
I
You're
don't know the
okay.
first thing about it. That's not the point. It's not what you know, it's how do you feel. What does it look like?
It's done.
See,
It's
when
done.
trust is low,
It's done.
people want proof and documents, and they want
It's
clear
done.
answers. They also, treated this like a normal media problem. It was not.
Saki, she
crisis.
sleeps in the office
There's
in
a
the big
crisis about
tower,
leadership and
little cat
credibility,
tower.
and acting like it was just another
And
news cycle made them look
Sometimes
disconnected,
the way that the
even more clueless,
coffee
and
pot
more
drips, it bothers her.
shady.
Only sometimes.
I don't
It's
know
funny.
what's worse, guilty or shady. When big news organizations got involved, control was already gone. Trying to use official letters to prove innocence or whatever, I don't know what it created new suspicion. Some people started asking why responses came so fast, and that created even more rumors. Old stories also come back. Oh my God! In the past week, don't you know more about Erica Kirk than you ever did? Whose fault is that? By the way, I hate to break it to you, this isn't something you want people to know about. Well, you said this, but you said this. What about the boyfriend? What about China? What about? Wait a minute. And then there's Fort Huachuca. And then November Renaissance. My God, everybody, the whole base was. You know how that works. Remember the old days CIA would have on this website. If you're making a movie or a film, you could use CIA facilities to actually use it as a basis for movies and the like. They would actually help. But anyway, you see, when attention rises, people search the past. Old reports, old controversies, old boyfriends, old husbands, old this, old children, and old mistakes get reused. And everything gets mixed together into one big blob story. Even if it doesn't fully connect, Then the internet shifted focus from money to personal life. People started digging into background detail. Where did this person work? Who do they know? What projects were they part of? This happens every time attention grows. Because lawyers were involved, people felt allowed to dig even deeper. And like I said, you don't want litigation because that's discovery and you don't want that. Why do you want to do this? It's one thing if you're going to sue, Elon Musk, but if you're going to sue him with all due respect to Mr. Wolves in Finance, what are you kidding me? But again, there's been no threat. There's been insinuations of something legal. It's not enough to scare him. So for the record, nobody's actually sued or anything. And I think if you're wise, go away. They'll forget about this. They'll talk about Minnesota, or they'll talk about Greenland or something else. But you keep this alive. And every time it goes on, every time, there's, you know people, I don't know this for a fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if people are calling Candace all the time saying, I've got screenshots, I got, I mean, you're like a million deep throats. By the way, deep throats with Alexander Haig, that's a different story. Now, old photos and old videos always are resurfacing. Small details become big headlines. Normal things started to begin treated as suspicious. And regular career moves are called secret plans. And creative projects were treated like hidden messages. Look, I know it sounds silly. I know. But it spreads because people like dramatic stories. They also fail to give one clear official biography and timeline, and that's it. They just botched it. And when leaders don't provide a clean story, the internet creates its own version using guesses and screenshots and people filling in. And all you have to do is, I swear to you, Erica, not that it matters, if you went 1 week, if you went radio silent for 1 week, same thing for TPUSA, that might be enough. It loses its oomph when you're not there every day talking about it. And when you go after a YouTuber for whatever reason, this also inures to her benefit because they're doing, this is like the Brigitte Macron thing. You're like, what is with you people? You go after her, you go after this guy. Is it true or is it not? Don't let me get started with that one. That's a very complicated issue. We'll talk about that later. But another mistake I want you to know about was misunderstanding their own supporters. Their audience is naturally skeptical. They don't trust polished statements. Legal threats look like trying to control the story instead of telling the truth. And they treated serious accusations and silly rumors the same way. See, that made everything seem important, even things that weren't. And they also
you think he would
turned
be a pit bull
again
in
a
court?
YouTuber like Wolves in Finance into a national symbol. The story became about power and censorship and money, and not just about one person. And people then started asking, why is this happening now? Why this moment? Why this person? When leaders don't answer clearly, people make up their own answers. And there's also been a brand problem. TPUSA promotes being young and rebellious and anti-establishment and this and that. But using what appears to be as being portrayed today legal threats doesn't match the image. That's not the way you act. When actions don't match the brand, people feel lied to. Never lose sight of your brand. Personal gossip followed soon after, and once attention grows, people move from business issues to personal life. And some of it's unfair, some of it's silly, but it happens when leaders choose to escalate. The biggest lesson is this. In today's world where we live in right now, public figures get analyzed deeply and quickly, and everything online gets saved and shared. The only real protection is calm behavior, honesty, restraint. Instead, they choose to fight publicly. That didn't make the problem smaller, it made it bigger. Silence can be smart. It is smart. Calm professionalism will work. Being open is better than threatening people. But also let it go away. They've got amnesia. They're going to forget about it. If leaders had stayed quiet early, shared clear financial information if they had to, avoided legal threats or the appearance of threats, and focused on steady leadership, most of the strange side stories would never have materialized, never have grown. Instead, they made people more curious. And when you make these people serious, it's like stepping on an anthill. They're fire ants in the South. It's just one little ant. When you get 1,000 of them crawling over your foot, it'll kill you. And don't forget, the internet also rewards curiosity with attention. See, once attention explodes, you can't take it back. See, that's the real damage. Not just headlines, not just rumors, but losing control of the story. And when that happens, the story controls you instead. So let me tell you something. You're going to see them one day perhaps watch this or study this in Harvard Business School or whatever. You're going to see crisis management, how not to do this. Remember what your story is. You had the perfect cover. This was a woman who lost her husband because she did. And people were very careful and very generous and very, very protective of her. Not now, too soon. But she never gave you the chance to grieve. She never gave you the chance. She jumped into it. And right off the bat, you said, there's something wrong with us. And you're right. My friends, thank you for your thoughts and comments. You have been terrific. Your stuff, I mean, it is, oh my God. Go to the comment section. Read them. I always put up 5 questions for you to kind of help you. I kind of set the tone. I love your take on this. We will continue. Thank you very much. Please like this video.
He's so good.
Please hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos.
He's so
Please
good. He's so good. So what's going on here? Matt Morris is live. Ladies and gentlemen,
Right this very moment
this is Matt Morris TV. We are streaming live on YouTube and Rumble. Let's hear him say it. Listen to his voice. His voice is great.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is Matt Morris. We are live right now on YouTube as well as on Rumble at Matt Morris TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we just continue to get breaking news updates pertaining to Don Lemon and this raid group of rioters that he led.
I'm going to turn this up to 1.5.
Seems like he led the group into a Minneapolis church congregation yesterday morning, Sunday morning yesterday. I'll tell you what, right now, 2 different things are currently happening. Number 1, President Trump's Department of Justice has decided to absolutely crack down on Don Lemon as well as his gaggle of far-left agitators. And 2, Don Lemon, as a consequence, right this very moment, is having a complete and total public meltdown. So we're going to take a look at all of that. We do have a lot of updates as it relates to all of that. We also, however, just got the news that the Democrats are currently planning tomorrow to hold a, quote, national walkout to stick it to President Trump and all of us right-wing Americans, I guess. I'm not really sure what the objective is, but we're going to take a look at that as well.
Walk out of what?
And on top of that, third and finally, today, we also just got absolutely shocking, astounding news from DHS Secretary Kristi Noem herself, who is, by the way, quickly becoming one of my personal favorites. And this new information we have from Kristi Noem is probably going to blow your socks off. As a little bit of a spoiler here, the deportations are going better than anyone could have ever expected. So, ladies and gentlemen, to really kick off today's broadcast, why don't we go ahead and begin by talking about the ongoing, ever-unfolding situation as it relates to this Don Lemon church raid that it seems like he led yesterday afternoon. We're going to take a listen first off from legal scholar Jonathan Turley, his professional breakdown of this entire dynamic.
All right, let's bring in constitutional law attorney Jonathan Turley. He's also a professor at GW University, as well as a Fox contributor, to dig into the legal angle in the case that is being built by the Justice Department here. Jonathan, these protesters clearly went into this church because they believe one of the pastors sort of moonlights as an ICE field director in Minnesota. You just heard Greg Vivino there. He told John the DOJ is investigating this, so neither confirmation nor denial on that point. But whether the pastor is also an ICE officer or not, does that change any of the legal calculus here?
No, Jillian, it doesn't. The Department of Justice is likely to proceed through its Civil Rights Division. Because they targeted a church, they are looking into whether the civil rights of those congregants were violated.
Well, and just to pause real quick, we have heard earlier today that numerous civil rights attorneys inside of the DOJ, working inside of President Trump's DOJ, have come forward and they said, yeah, we are going in. So Trump, Pam Bondi, they have activated the Civil Rights Department of the DOJ to come after Don Lemon and all of his collaborators.
Making things worse for these groups is one of the organizers said that all of these congregants have to look at their, quote, theology and look within their hearts. And so there's this question of whether the church itself and the congregants were being targeted. So there is ground here for the Civil Rights Division to investigate. Now, whether you could make a civil rights case out of that, I'm not so sure. You know, a lot of judges would look at this and say, I see this as a political protest. But what's also fascinating is the lack of deterrent from local officials. You know, at a minimum, this is trespass and disorderly conduct under state law. We haven't even heard from the governor
just started.
to condemn what was a grotesque and offensive mob action against this church.
I like to listen to most things at like
To give you a sense
1.5,
of what Justice
sometimes
Department officials are thinking
1.25.
right now, Harmeet
We're gonna have to
Dillon,
listen to it at
Assistant
full
Attorney
speed. He
General,
just
says
started
it's illegal
streaming.
to
He started
protest
streaming after
inside
I did, I
churches,
guess.
Period. She
Yeah.
says a
Not
house of
that we're
worship is not a
competing.
public forum for your protest. It's a
I'm
space
just pushing the
protected
button.
from exactly
Pushing the
such
gosh
acts
darn
by
button.
federal, criminal,
Where
and
is that?
civil laws. Is that true?
Yes, I mean, there are lots of laws that can come into play, particularly state laws, which are the easiest to use here. Federal laws, you will get into a fight over whether the motivation was political as opposed to religious
with,
or racist.
Chris
but there are grounds here for
Tucker.
the
There you
investigation.
go.
Dylan is correct on that. What I think is really quite conspicuous is the absence of state deterrence and enforcement. I mean, there has to be at some point in which Governor Walz and Mayor Fry will come out and say, enough. I mean, for the love of Mike, so you've got to stop this.
Junta! Junta! I got something for you. Got something you want? Huh? I got your bomb right here.
Sweetheart. No, no.
Oh, I'm wondering if I'm going to get in trouble for copyright. Let me turn that really far down because I just want to make sure they're saying the line that I want them to say. Okay. So did have that in there. I just want to be able to clip. Principal caught on school camera with this. Parents were stunned. I don't even want to look. I don't want to look. I don't want to look. Do we want to look? I don't want to look. 1.6 million people have looked. He accidentally laid out the plan. Well, we want to look at that one, but only for a few seconds. We want to get back to Matt.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal
In
High
49
Podcast,
minutes,
where
he
we
got
focus on exposing
29,000
the abundant
views.
hypocrisy
Good
of
for
the
him.
left. And of course, here's the meme of the day, brought to you by FiveMind.com. You know, at this point, I think it's state and an unconstitutional action. They're unleashed federal officer. These Democrat terrorists, or will allow the chaos to continue, will continue sending our little BLM Antifa foot soldiers to attack federal officers. He's basically threatening the American people. He's threatening the federal government. And you know, speaking to these Democrats who don't stop invoking the Constitution, enabling chaos as a means to thwart intro pretty well, just take a look.
If the goal here is to create peace and safety and calm, there's a very clear antidote here, which is leave. The second these ICE agents leave the city, I'm telling you, you're going to have calm in Minneapolis, and you will continue to see the great comeback that we had been experiencing. Let us get back to that comeback. Let us live in peace.
This is extortion, pure and simple.
He sounds like the boyfriend who gets mad that you caught him cheating, and then he's like, but why are you so upset? If you weren't so upset, we could resolve this.
And enable this violence until ICE stops doing its job. You know, exactly as I've been saying, the violence.
The bad breakup guy.
Chaos,
Oh,
none of it is some
why?
uncontrollable
It's all
force of nature.
you. You're the one upset here.
Leverage now. That is textbook extortion. They're using the disorder as a bargaining chip to force federal law enforcement out of the city. This is clearly the strategy. I mean, if you want to know what Democrats are really doing, and just listen to Jacob Fry. You know, I think he's always
Prediction, if those federal agents left, as
federal invasion, right? With Texas.
Right, I get it. But he said he accidentally laid out the plan. Where's accidentally?
Democrat narrative of being victims. They're helping enforce
Where's
federal law on
accidentally?
the ground. It's the Democrat Party.
are Tom
Oh, I
Homan
guess it's here?
and undocumented immigrants that they said they came from sexual assault or child abuse to murder. The White House border czar, Tom Homan, said they need to pick up those dangerous individuals, and he said specifically that you can fix this issue today.
We're arresting illegal aliens when we're out there looking for criminals. You want less collateral arrest? Then let us in the damn jail. Try and Walz could fix this today. Let us in the jail so you can arrest a public safety threat in the safety and security of a jail rather than forcing us into the street to find these bad guys.
I'm going to take the most easy position I think I've ever taken. Hey, in Minneapolis, we're anti-murder. Second most easy position, we're third most easy position, we're anti-crime. You can't do those things in Minneapolis, and if you do, we investigate them. We prosecute, you charge, you arrest, and you put the people in jail.
I mean, what the hell was that? Doesn't that tell you all that you need to know? It's obviously true. And so instead of answering the question, because, well, that would make them quite culpable, that basically would shut down
I
the
can't
entire
believe
argument.
this guy who's
Instead,
supposed to be a real
pivots again with
journalist
this, we're
didn't say,
anti-crime.
you
What
didn't
is wrong
answer
with
the
these
question.
Democrats? It's unbelievable.
Just say,
the way
you didn't
they
answer the
lie,
question.
The way they twist and manipulate. The audience capture on the left is unreal. They know that being anti-Trump always has to come first. They cannot do the right thing. They cannot say the right thing, even if it's obvious, because you have to constantly appeal to the radical left base. This Jacob Fry guy is a freaking freak. And once again, exactly like I've been saying,
He's really,
not slick enough
like-
to hide the truth. You want to know what's really going on? Just listen to this freaking guy speak, and you see
Yeah.
what's really happening. And I think it would be very easy to look at this Jacob Fry guy. And
What do they
simply
call
come
that,
to the conclusion,
gaslighting?
He's an idiot. He's a moron. But it goes well beyond that. This guy is dangerous. He's a very dangerous moron. I don't know how anybody can support this. He is telling you plain and simple, this is an extortion racket. And the way Democrats are enabling it, the way they lie. I mean, actually, speaking of that, this just popped up on my timeline.
What's happening right now is the ICE agents are the ones breaking the law, not the peaceful protesters.
Peaceful?
So I believe we should not
Holy
be
smokes,
funding-
have you seen some of that stuff? I can't listen to that anymore. My brain's gonna pop. That's so ridiculous. Peaceful. They drug that man off the wall. He got swallowed up into like this zombie apocalypse kind of a scene. And then they panned out and you could see somebody stabbing him. And he got like 30 stitches in the head and they apparently hit his vest. Crazy. Crazy.
But we haven't really heard that coming from these local politicians.
We have pretty much heard nothing from any state.
All right, I'm gonna go back to writing.
Trying to deter
Leaving this
all
as
these
background.
far-left rioters, agitators, protesters, whatever you want to call it. Listen, hey.
All right, well, let's listen to
fundamentally-
her. We're going to leave him on pause for a little bit. We're going to go over to her. Fate and Fortune with True Oracle.
Charlie Kirk's energy. We are doing water scrying again today. The reflection that you're seeing right here is my camera, and this right in here happens to be me and my ball cap. So if you do see that, please don't think that it's something trying to come in. I use water, and it was taught to me by a German ancestor to use iron and water because iron dispels evil. This is the way I've always done it. So there you are. I use a stick. We're going to tap the water to see, and I just saw a shadow go past. So let me know in the comments if you see anything, and don't forget to subscribe while you're here. All right, I want to know, and I'm going to tap the water 3 times to resonate, to charge the frequency for the energy to come through. And the question is, Charlie, is Erica there with you? I'm going to keep both of my hands here so you don't see shadows. Oh. I saw that. Okay. Let me do this. I just saw a face. Okay, Charlie, we're going to ask you again, is Erica there with you? I'm going to do this so we can maybe
Hey, I got you. I got you.
condense the light a little bit more.
I know, I don't want you jumping again. You scared me. You scared me. You slipped it.
All right, what I'm
You
seeing
slipped
is
it.
the answer yes, and I don't know who the face that is, but I keep seeing shadows over this way and in front of me, so I know some energy is here. So yes, I'm going to say that
It's
Erica
okay.
is there
I'm
with
rebuilding
him.
online presence, which I
The energy
intended
is
to,
there.
Which
Now,
I had,
Charlie.
I'm just gonna say ignored.
Can you tell me was it? I'm trying to form this carefully, friends. Give me a second. And there's another shadow that's coming through, and I just saw a light. All right. I think he understands what I'm about to ask. Let me ask this. Did the microphone on your shirt have anything to do with your ticket to paradise? And that's me, right here. Did the microphone on your shirt have anything to do with the ticket to paradise? Okay, not directly. What does that mean? Possibly indirectly. So what does not directly mean? Okay, Erica is coming in from this side. Now, what I'm seeing in here is I'm looking in this iron. I don't know if you can pick it up here, but I can tell you what. There was a shadow that came in through here, and it was Erica. I know it was. I'm trying to stay back so you don't see my reflections. See, that's my reflection. So I'm not going to pretend that's anything else. She's saying there was something else along with the microphone. Now, in my opinion, I believe that. Charlie, was it, okay, he just said more than one person. Did you know the person or persons that set this up? Ooh. Ooh, I just saw a finger. So that it was like this. And so one person he knew. Charlie, was there a government involved?
I wouldn't be talking to the dead. I would be afraid they wouldn't go home.
And Charlie, was someone who doubled for Erica involved?
Doubled for Erica.
Yes, but he's also saying that there's two. So it looks like there's two governments, more than one person involved, and more than one double for Erica. Now, just so you know, entertainment purposes only, okay, folks? So just, these are not facts. This is entertainment, just for you know. Charlie, show me what you did. Show me this in the last 30 days before your ticket to paradise. Show me that.
Oops.
Okay. So what I'm getting from this, and this is my heat source coming on, so if you're hearing that noise, it's not, you know, ghostly vapors coming in. All right, so what I'm seeing directly in here, and I'm hoping that it's picking it up in the camera, is this. So it looks like there is writing involved. I think I want to get my cards. We're going to put this on pause. I'm going to turn a light on. I'm going to get my cards because this is getting interesting. All right.
Ooh, I
Hold
like
on,
her
my
with the
darlings,
cards.
Okay, my darlings, here we are back again. I put the scrying source up here. Just, you never know. We may see something. The light is on. And I'm going to start asking some questions. So Charlie pretty much said that Erica's energy is there. And there's missing information. The key to unlock information. I'm going to tell you something about keys. And you know, for me, a key is a big thing. Why? Because you can have a castle, you can have a fortress in which, let's see if I can find, I have a key to a fortress. But you can have these keys, and as big as these castles, as big as fortress, as big as your home,
I need to get a
it
thumbnail.
literally takes a small little key to unlock and open up to a much bigger space. That's why keys are so important. But information is also key. So there's something there. There's something there. Let's see what this Piotnik deck says. Sorry. All right.
Her cards are so
There was a
dinky.
visit. I believe Charlie was visited. I believe Charlie and Erica were visited. Now,
Didn't they talk about
remotely,
visiting
and
with
then
a
a couple
priest?
of card readings ago, basically it was an indication that there was a double for Erica. I can say it that way. Wisdom is needed. Yeah, we got to figure this out. Because the more that comes up, the more that is suspicious. And this Erica person, I'm going to say it that way, this Erica person seems to be digging deeper and deeper and deeper. There's something there that's not right. The house. I know they sold their house. I don't know where they are right now. And asking Charlie's energy, that hit my thumb. But look what came out. The next 30 days are very important. I'm going to say this. Does the Erica person have the children? Does the Erica person have the children? I'm not using the Crime and Shadow deck. I'm using this. And if you're interested in these cards and you're very crafty and DIY, you can download these images on the site. I'm going to put the link in the description and at the end of this video, and they are on sale 50% off right now. So there you go. If you like these cards, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Wolfy is all I can say. And that certainly makes a heck of a lot of sense.
I don't get it.
It certainly does. Coming out, meek, mild-mannered. Distraught. I don't know. I have not seen that. I've not seen that. But it almost is like a play. I'm going to say these things in a careful way. Do me a favor and comment. Just comment. And please, no buzzwords. Because your comments get held, and I don't see them anyway. So, a message. So yeah, I believe a message came to their home with a visit. And in that visit came the key, the key that unlocks, and we will get more information in the next 30 days. Wisdom definitely is needed, and this is what is playing the Erica person. What else should we know? Charlie showed me clearly that he was signing something. There's some things that are overlooked, and I'm going to say on purpose. That's my question. Is it overlooked on purpose? And I really do think that they're going to push for the DP for Tyler Robinson. Fortune. Yeah, there was a lot of fortune there. And even more to come, it's my understanding. That, in my opinion, needs to be looked into. The universe knows the truth. That is the absolute truth in that respect. Let's see. I want to know more about the children. I'm going to ask this question. The Erica person, she's dating someone, isn't she, right now? Oh, yeah. She's got a fire going. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I feel so.
Damn, Charlie.
That person is actually dating someone. Why? Because that persona can't stop. That persona cannot stop with the wild things. It's all about the timing. So that would have been 4 months ago, possibly 4 months. September, October, November, December, January, 4 months ago. And dating someone new? Oh, well, congratulations. I'm saying that sarcastically for those of you who don't know. Okay. Yeah, there is definitely a loss, but I'm also going to say, look, this is a card of gambling. Now, is there a casino gamble? No. Is there a risk? Yes. More than one. More than one. Do we know this person that the truth is being hidden? Let's take out these cards. There's a new pathway ahead. Were the children abandoned? I think they were taken, or I think freely given. But yeah, there's a burning desire to carry on, and the real truth is being hidden. That's the star card for today. It sure is. Let's see. There's so much. Was Erica's, there's a gift. Well, I think there was a gift of money given. Let me ask one more question, maybe two. Was Erica at the fort? I'm going to say it that way. Hoochie Wawa? Yeah, that's it. Fort Hoochie Wawa. Was she at Fort Hoochie Wawa?
Hoochie Wawa.
Constancy. I'm going to say the answer is yes. There's a whole backstory here, friends. We're going to look into it. Thanks for watching. Once again, like and subscribe. See you soon.
At the good part? What? Don't do that. That's mean. You finally got to the part I wanted to hear. Oh, this is me. Is this me? Yep. Like I said, I can't see. I want to go back to Matt. And then we're going to go back to Chris Recht.
You do not have a free speech protection to trespass in somebody's house or private property, in this case a church, and go and engage in a riot and make a bunch of kids cry. You guys saw the photos. Kids were crying. Because who knows if these people were violent? They were most certainly crazy. Don Lemon here and his whole group of collaborators, whatever you want to call them, they could not have picked a stupider thing to do.
There was kids crying. That was unnecessary.
You know, whether or not Don Lemon and his group of collaborators were targeting these people,
they were just in church.
It doesn't really matter. They chose to do this inside of a Christian church, a place of worship. So if the defense from the far left here is, well, we weren't discriminating against Christians. We were only going to this church on a Sunday where all these Christians are in a Christian place of worship because we were hunting down this ICE agent who happened to be a Christian pastor. It kind of doesn't matter. You're doing this in a Christian church during a Christian congregation on a Sunday morning. You know exactly what you were doing. This is the weakest defense. If that is the defense they're going to try to mount, this is the weakest defense I've ever heard of. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, an insider of the DOJ, in fact, the second highest individual inside of the DOJ, yeah, chimes in on this.
Freedom of the press extends to a lot of different areas. It does not extend to somebody just trespassing and being embedded with a group of rioters and being part of the group that storms inside of a church. So as our Assistant Attorney General said yesterday, we are absolutely investigating that conduct, and the fact that man, that Mr. Lemon, thought that was a good idea to do that and then to race away from it saying it was freedom of the press, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Freedom of the press. Listen, once again, the press does not have freedom to, like, tag along with let's come up with a hypothetical here. Let's go hyperbolic here. You know, imagine there was a group of Italian mobsters, and they got their Tommy guns, and they were going to load up into their cars and go rob a bank. Imagine a member of the press said, hey guys, let me tag along. I'll sit in the back of the car while you go rob a bank, this group of Italian mobsters. I'll sit in the back of the car. I'm going to record all of it live. I'm going to broadcast it on TikTok, and I might even help you yell at the bank teller. I'll say, hey, hand over the money, and nobody gets hurt. I'll do that. Is this freedom of the press? No. Of course not. You don't get to tag along with criminal behavior or even terroristic behavior, which is maybe what we're looking at here. You don't get to tag along and say, well, listen, I didn't do anything wrong because I'm a member of the press. And also, what's more, is Don Lemon really a member of the press? Like, dude, you got fired from CNN. I think you have a podcast that literally no one watches. I don't want to toot my own horn here, but my videos here on YouTube and Rumble get 100 times more views than Don Lemon. I believe he started his own media network called the Lemon News Network. I kid you not. He's the head, he's the CEO of the Lemon News Network, which nobody has heard of. So even if you want to make the defense that, well, I'm a member of the press, it's like, really though, are you? Are you really a member of the press? I don't know about that. Not that it matters.
It's a crime, and so they will face a jury. If they're convicted, they will go to prison. And you're right, the PACE Act has been abused by administrations over the years. You're absolutely right. So when you look at what happened yesterday, you know why that law was passed, and we're going to use it for the reason it was meant
do the
to be used
piggies,
for, which is to stop this type of conduct.
and then
again,
I have a couple of videos to upload.
Should be enraged and heartbroken at what happened yesterday in that church. People going to worship.
I'm just doing my thing.
By anti-law enforcement, anti-Christian rioters, and the response that you get from city leaders. Today, the governor just throws his hands up and says, "Oh, I've always said you should peacefully protest." That is just completely made up. You can listen to what that man has been saying for the past 3 weeks. He has not been encouraging people to peacefully protest.
Oh my
He's
gosh, the
encouraging people to do
snow.
exactly what they did.
Those
what
deer
happened yesterday
are
was
out there in
consequence
that
of the governor's
snow.
words, period.
Once again, you guys go fact check it. Go read. I implore you, go read the First Amendment. There is no First Amendment protection to protest. Protest isn't even mentioned at all. The word isn't even there. What you do have, in accordance with the U.S. First Amendment, is the right to peacefully assemble. You are allowed, in accordance with the First Amendment, very important amendment, you are allowed to peacefully assemble. That does not mean you are allowed to invade other people's private property, to kick open the doors of a church, to interrupt a church congregation, hijack the room, start yelling at everybody, screaming in people's faces.
Why don't we use this one?
And then when asked to leave, the pastor got up there, he said, listen, you are not welcome here, you need to leave. Then you stay anyway. At that point, you are trespassing. The First Amendment does not protect any of that. This is not a First Amendment dynamic. Now, President Trump issued a little bit of a message here. In a way, President Trump just posted earlier today on Truth Social that Don Lemon and the leftist rioters should get years in prison for storming the Minneapolis church. It looks like President Trump earlier today, reposted something another woman posted. The woman herself, she said, a small group of elderly ladies were protesting at an abortion clinic and were given 40 years in prison for violating the FACE Act. Remember that? That did happen. I would like to see the same kind of sentence for Don Lemon and the people that broke into that church and did that during a Sunday church service. Donald Trump saw that, and Donald Trump reposted that. And you know what? I kind of feel the same way. I can't help myself but feeling the same way. You agree? I agree with Moni and Donald Trump. They're spot on. Spot on. Now,
I agree.
Associate Attorney General Harmy Dillon, who we mentioned a moment ago,
those old ladies who were just like, we're praying.
Everybody, listen to this. Listen to what Associate Attorney General Harmy Dillon had to say just about 2 hours ago.
I think it is fair to say that I saw multiple federal, criminal incidents yesterday, and there will be charges. It's only a question of when can we get a judge to sign off on arrest warrants and exactly what the charges will be.
And those judges have to be in Minnesota, don't they?
They have to be federal judges in Minnesota, and I have to go in front of them, so I'm not going to, say what was on my mind this time. But let's just say that this isn't Texas, and we aren't getting exactly rapid fire support for charges there on the pace. We would love, and people need to understand that there could have been arrests yesterday if Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota, enforced his own laws, and Mary Moriarty, the District Attorney of Hennepin County, enforced her own laws. Instead, you see Keith Ellison being interviewed by Don Lemon yesterday, expressing his support for the victims of ICE. So we know exactly nothing is going to happen over there. So you have to understand the federal government has to jump through some additional hurdles. It isn't our job to enforce state law, and we're stepping in to do this here when the state refuses to enforce its own laws.
At that point, if you have a state like this that is not only ignoring federal law, they are a sanctuary state. It's a sanctuary city, Minneapolis. So we know that they don't give a rat's patootie about federal law. We know that. We've known that for a long time. But also,
they don't give a rat's
patootie. They don't even care
patootie
about their own state laws. You know what? Once again, you call me a radical, call me a right-wing extremist, federalize the state. It's at that point. If the elected officials in this state, one, are choosing to ignore federal law, they've proven to be belligerent, that is seditious, it's an insurrection, really is what it is. And then they either won't enforce state laws or will, worse yet, selectively enforce state laws. So a guy like Don Lemon, he's a far left, he's a member of the far left, all these agitators, they're members of the far left. The state is choosing under Attorney General Keith Ellison of the state of Minnesota, they're choosing just, well, we're just not going to criminally pursue anybody on our own side. We are going to weaponize the law such that anybody on our side, will turn a blind eye. However, if a member of the right in this state even does so much as one tiny little infraction, whatever it might be, they're going scorched earth. You know what? I've had it. I'm sick of it. Federalize the state. We're going to call it the federal containment zone of Minnesota. Donald Trump is going to take over. I don't know. Listen, this is just getting out of hand. This is ridiculous. Talking about these far left, radically progressive judges. I want to play for you a video featuring Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer from about a year ago. This was recorded about, actually, maybe 18 months ago. It's about 18 months old, but this is more pertinent than ever. Chuck Schumer, I guarantee you, he regrets saying what I'm about to show you. This is going to put all of this into context. Take a listen. It's all part of the plan. Take a listen here.
There are those who believe that we are in real time living through an assault on the constitutional order. Do you believe that we are in a constitutional crisis right now?
Yes, our democracy is at risk because Donald Trump shows that he wishes to violate the laws in many, many different ways. The good news here is we did put 235 judges, progressive judges not under the control of Trump last year on the bench, and they are ruling against Trump time after time after time.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chuck Schumer. This is recorded actually, I believe, right before Trump got sworn in. 12 months ago, might have been up to 18 months ago.
Let's look at this.
What
Let's
Chuck
look at
Schumer
these
said
deer.
here is that in the final year of the Joe Biden administration, the Democrats, they confirmed they swore in
Holy
235 far-left, radically progressive federal judges across the country
They're
for the
just
sole
eating.
and exclusive purpose of undermining, subverting President Trump's America First agenda. They were premeditated. This has been a part of the plan. They were worried. Well, if President Trump wins the election, if Donald Trump wins the election, the 2024 election, we've got to hedge our bets. So what do we need to start doing? We're going to start pushing through as many far-left, radically progressive judges, activist judges, that are going to rule against President Trump.
So if we do the width,
going to weaponize their role in the federal
1920,
judiciary to try to undermine President
and then
Trump.
we see, oh, that's
okay. Over the last 12 months,
okay.
have we seen that? Is that exactly what we have seen over the last 12 months? Yeah. Is that perhaps exactly what we are seeing right now in Minnesota? Yeah, pretty much. Seems that way. Sure seems that way. So this is not an accident.
To
this
a
is
zero.
A premeditated, coordinated plan from the far left to engage in lawfare. They know exactly what they're doing. They knew what they were doing. Now, we were talking
And then
about
we're going
Minnesota
to
Attorney General Keith Ellison. He issued this statement earlier this afternoon relating to this fiasco in the church with Don Lemon. Take a listen.
I love it, but here's what I want to say to all the rest of your audience, because I know you got a ton of people who are, way outside of Minnesota. This could be coming your way. He could target, if he can target us, he can target anyone, and create an element of fear. What he's trying to do is create an atmosphere of fear where no one is willing to speak against him, because they think, oh, I'll just send my Praetorian guards to hurt you.
What is he
watching? And to
watching?
destroy your business economy, to stop your kids from going to school, to drive up your local costs. And unless you want that, you're going to get in line. That's what it's all about. This is the essence of dictatorship. It's the essence of it. And
What
we
is
gotta
he
get over the idea
watching?
that this couldn't happen here. Not
There's
only
people
could it
in the
happen here,
street
it's
dragging
happening
people.
here.
That
So
guy
he
got
says
drugged by a
Donald
car
Trump's
for
gonna
like
make
2
everybody get in line. You
blocks.
better get in line or I'm going to send in my Praetorian Guard, my ICE officers. Get in line, Minnesota.
What?
What does he mean by that? What
They're
in
trying to
the
get that
context
type of
does
stuff
getting
under
in line
control.
really mean? Well, it means following federal immigration law. It means really just following federal law. It means not allowing illegal aliens to vote. It means not issuing stand-down orders for state and municipal police to not work with federal law enforcement ICE officers or DHS or CBP agents. It means letting the federal law enforcement officers do their job. They're here to enforce federal immigration law. It means handing over your voter rolls to the Trump administration so we can purge dead people and illegal aliens and people that
I
have
kind
been
of like
states.
how those
These
pinks
states,
and
these sanctuary
those
states have proven to be belligerent
purples
in
and
10
the
different
teal
ways.
go
And
together.
all the Trump administration wants, it's like, hey, listen, we have laws.
Right?
We
Do you
have
like that
numerous
too?
pieces of congressionally passed legislation. We all have to follow them. You don't get to say, as an individual sanctuary state, Minnesota in this case, that you just don't feel like following federal law. So when we talk about getting in line, yeah, you do need to get in line. Honest to God, I do hope that what is currently happening in Minnesota happens in every single sanctuary state if they also do not get in line. After we're done in Minnesota, I don't know, maybe we're coming for Washington. Maybe we're coming for...
I like how that
we're
work
coming
with
for
me also
California.
looks.
I don't know, a lot of people say there's some big issues in
I might
Ohio.
make
Maybe
that
we're going
just
to
an
Ohio
image
next.
and pop
I don't
that
know.
on top
Listen, this
of
is what
here.
has to happen. You want to talk about making America great again? You want to talk about putting America first? We need a total, nationally sweeping crackdown on every single one of these belligerent sanctuary states that have chosen to selectively not enforce federal law, and also to undermine and subvert
There we
federal
go.
law.
I
Once
like
the federal
it.
government comes around and tries to enforce it themselves. So yeah, you know what? I hope that is what happens. Now, wanted to share this with you. We hear from another Minneapolis pastor.
All right, let's keep
in the
running.
Minneapolis area, who took to Fox News earlier today, this individual here, and he eviscerated eviscerated. Governor Tim Walz.
Absolutely. And I think while the fundamental blame lies on the agitators themselves who chose to do this, who coordinated it, planned it, it was a brazen and intentional invasion. They sat through the first half of the service before disrupting it. I do think that some of the blame lies on Governor Walz and the mayors of Minneapolis and St. Paul, who have been encouraging this sort of lawlessness as these law enforcement is seeking to carry out their lawful mission. That the government is responsible to secure the border, to remove illegals. This is a lawful thing to do. And yet the governor of Minnesota has been encouraging them to urgently and loudly protest these actions. And now it's not simply disrupting law enforcement actions, it's following law enforcement agents to their places of worship, harassing their families, scaring their children, anyone who's associated with them, demanding that they denounce them. I mean, these are terrible tactics, and it is shameful that the governor would be so tepid in his condemnation.
You know, this
Yeah,
is a,
they
man,
followed that
this
one
is a
old
very
man,
powerful thing that he
and they
just
kept
said. It didn't
saying,
even occur to me, but he put that-
are you a
he's an
Fed?
astro,
Are
go
you
figure.
Fed?
He put
Denounce
this
the
into
ICE.
context perfectly. He said,
And then they like
far-left
chased
agitators,
him.
these
They
anti-ICE agitators,
chased
seemingly
him.
led by Don Lemon, disgraced CNN host Don Lemon. seemed to be their
It was
leader.
funny
Why were
streams,
they there?
except
Why
for
were
the
they
fact
at
that
this
it was
church
real life.
specifically? Because they believe, I
And
don't
it's
even know if
kind of
this is
rough
true,
to
but they
think that
believe
people actually
that
act
one of
like
the pastors,
that.
someone in this church was working for ICE. And so they hunted this alleged ICE officer down. They followed him to his church and interrupted a Sunday church service, a Christian place of worship, so they could go harass this ICE officer. When you phrase it that way, when you look at it that way, this is just, it obviously already is disgusting, but man, it's just 10 times more disgusting. What? Because the message here is, if you work for ICE, if you're an ICE officer, ICE field commander, whatever your position is, whatever the title, you are safe nowhere. We're going to dox you. We're going to harass your wife. We're going to harass your kids. We're going to find out where you spend your free time. We're going to harass you there. We're going to call up, I don't know, you've got a job, you've got another job, you volunteer somewhere. We're going to call them and try to ruin your life. We're going to try to get you debanked. We are even going to go so far as to track down what church you go to on a Sunday morning, and we will interrupt the service. The congregation will kick in the door and trespass and try to harass you there too. You are safe nowhere. And so when you think about this, this is the definition of terrorism. These people are terrorists. They are trying to push their asinine, insane, anti-American political ideology by spreading fear.
I
The
guess
message
Matt
is
has
this:
an
you are safe
opinion.
nowhere. If you are a Trump supporter, if you are a Trump collaborator, doesn't matter what time of day, what day of the week, where you are, does not matter. Sunday service, you are not safe.
All right, we're gonna listen to Matt. I can't take the. Matt is so good, but right now I need Mello for this. So we're gonna put Chris Recht on. I like Matt. I like Matt a lot, but right now,
welcome.
I just need something mellow. Why I type.
For February 2026. You have this card that says empowerment. It says, are you ready to fully step into your power and accept all the
He like jumped off of
responsibilities
Twitch
that come with it?
last year. He was a gamer. He played World of Warcraft, and he says he had like 0 followers on YouTube, and now he's like approaching 1 million. That is wow. I'm so happy for him.
They have been very good financially, so clearly there could be some opportunity to improve your finances. 10 of Wands could represent like simplifying the work you do.
Oh no, I
Eight
don't
of
want that.
Pentacles for sure. 10 of Wands is like the hard way. 8 of Pentacles is the straightforward, diligent way to make things happen. It kind of just says keep it simple. And if you remember back to 2025, at the beginning of 2025, I said to everyone that the key word for 2025 was going to be keep it simple, or the key phrase, right? And so that energy definitely seems to be continuing in 2026. And yeah, I just wouldn't overcomplicate anything. Looks pretty good here, Virgo. Like I said, the readings have been pretty positive for February. You have the 10 of Wands, the World, and the Judgment card in the area of your current general energies. The 10 of Wands wants you to make sure you're not overcomplicating anything. Several signs, like I said, have had this card for February. So February seems to be a month where we should be simplifying things. Like I said, he's doing things the hard way, maybe. He's carrying those 10 Wands. Personally, I like the 10 of Wands because he's very close to achieving his goal. Same thing with the 8 of Pentacles. On the 8 of Pentacles, he only has one more pentacle to complete, and then he will get the fruits of his labor, right? So it's like you are probably very close to getting the fruits of your labor, or to, what I'm getting here also, sorry, I had to pause because I was getting a message there that, if you've been working on something long-term, like a long-term project or something that's taken a long time, you could be in like the finishing, touching up stages of something is kind of what I feel with the 10 of Wands. So, like I said, it's not all bad with the 10 of Wands. Having said that, I do think there are probably some things that you could learn or do that would make things just a little bit less of a burden. And as a matter of fact, the other thing, on top of all that, I should say, the 10 of Wands says, if there are any external obligations, if you have obligations that are not yours, then it might be time to get rid of those obligations so you can finish your journey. He's very close, but some of those wants might not belong to him. They might be someone else's. And so by letting go of a few of them, he might be able to lighten the load and get home a lot faster, right? And that is definitely popping into my head. You have the world. I definitely feel you're closing something out. Your reading is, I would say that is like the big difference between you and everyone else I've read for so far, is everyone else's readings were a little bit more on the side of like starting something. To me, it looks like you are very close to completing something. The world is a card of completion. It's a card of an achievement. It's a card of your place in the world as well. And again, you have this card that says empowerment on it. It says, are you ready to fully step into your power and accept all the responsibility that comes with it? The world is definitely a card of standing out in the world, or, one way to do that is to empower yourself. So working on that would be good. You have the Judgment card. I do feel like you're discovering your next thing here, Virgo. I'm not even sure what to say about that. I feel Virgos, I don't care if you're 1 or 100 when you're watching this video, Virgo. Obviously I doubt there are very many babies that watch this channel, but I don't know, maybe babies like me a lot, so it is possible, but...
Chris is a good guy. Okay, I'm going to say goodnight because it's almost 9, and that's when I do the piggies. I change the piggy linens. And if you happen to see this video and you happen to jump on and you happen to stay till this part, love you, mean it, really. Thank you. I'll get this all together, but right now it's just pushing the button, staying online for an hour, and just getting used to doing that daily. I'll curate a show. I'll do a video, but in the meantime, maybe I should work on the lighting here, because look, I have like shadows and a halo, and the back is, I don't know. I should work on that, but I'm working on so much. Follow me. Love ya. Mean it.